All right, good evening, everybody. Drew, aka Catching Rockets. So first, we'll start out by going over the callouts from yesterday, and then I'll cover a few new plays that I see potentially setting up. Um, and then I just want to say really quickly, like the feedback on yesterday's video was really good, and that will be my motivation for continuing to do these going forward. Um, that's not like a threat, but if there's not a lot of engagement with the videos, I'll just assume that people aren't really interested and I'll stop doing them. But if there's good engagement, I'll keep doing them. Again, I'm not saying that like, oh, you have to be engaged, otherwise I'm going to stop. But like I said, if I don't see a lot of engagement, I'll just assume there's not a lot of interest. Anyway, we're going to start out with a loss from today. Um, and actually, in retrospect, I'm a little bit frustrated with myself. I think I was being greedy with this play. Um, Realistically, I think I should have been targeting the far side of this high volume node right here at 162.17 to close the calls, which would have worked out. I think the high was 162.41. Anyway, so we never made it quite to the 163 target. And I put this down as a day trade, so I'm calling this a miss. Potentially, people might have made money off of it. I don't know. Um, like I said yesterday in the video, I don't really trade options, so I didn't look at the prices at open and at close and whatever else. So um, maybe you guys can let me know in the chat if anybody took it, if you were able to make money by the end of the day or whatever. Um, Next call out from yesterday was Salesforce. This didn't trigger yet, so this will still be in play. It might take a little bit for it to trigger, but I wouldn't be surprised if earnings sends this. But hopefully we get in before earnings and are able to play it up and have this work out in our favor. Anyway, so Salesforce still on the table. Next one is Disney. It's doing pretty good. Oh gosh, where's they always move this stuff on me, and I'm like can't find whatever. I'm over it. I think it's up to 117 something after hours. Um, we have earnings in the morning. Pretty sure that this will get sent up to 124-ish, but we're looking to close at 123.50. Um, anyway, hopefully you guys got into this. I don't. It probably was pricey with earnings coming up tomorrow, but think it's going to be a good play. I don't really like to gamble earnings, but even if you took it and closed it after you made some money, you'll be good. Um, Next one, Home Depot. No triggers so far, so we're still waiting to see this play out. And I should say, like any of these that I go over, if there's if any of these get invalidated, I'll make sure that I let you guys know. That way, you're not watching for the plays anymore. But as of right now, Salesforce and Home Depot are both still in play. So we're watching for this to break below 339.50, and we'll take puts just for a few dollars to the downside. And the last one would be the banger for the day. I know one person tagged me and posted their winnings. They took two contracts and made $1,000 today, which is sick. 80% gain so far for them on this trade. I called this out as a swing trade. And called it out as like a month out, take a month out, and in one day we got a pretty good portion of the move, like 17 points. So we're just looking for a little bit more here to hit our first trim. Pretty good result for the first day. So far, one miss potentially, on Airbnb. I'm going to say it's a miss because we never hit the profit target, and I called it out as a day trade. But again, I think people still could have probably made money off of it. And Disney and Netflix are both still in play. Neither one of those have hit stop loss or take profit yet, so we'll have to see how those play out in the coming days. On to the new plays. First one is going to be Target. And I'm looking to take a short on Target. We had a little bit of a discussion in the Discord earlier. This is kind of a risky entry, 155.80, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a sell-off all the way down to about 141. I'm not looking to take it that low. Again, once we lose 155.80, I'll be taking it, or I would take a short. Looking to close at 152 and 35 cents, at least for a trim. My ultimate take profit goal is 148. So watching for that tomorrow. We do have dividends and earnings coming up. This might end up being like after the ex-dividend date. A lot of times like stocks will sell off right afterwards. So we might be looking to enter this, right after Tuesday the 4th, or on Tuesday the 14th on the X date when people start selling off. And that's not the only reason that I'm looking at this trade, but that is definitely, if you watch pretty much any stock that has dividends, right after dividends happen, they'll have like a little sell off. It's a pretty easy way to make some money on puts. So next is going to be Visa. For this, looking for a little short, nothing too extreme, but below 170 and 50 cents, I would be interested in a short down to 167 and 20 cents, where we have some pretty good support right about 166.70. So I want to close just above that, roughly 50 cents. So just a little trade on this one. And then the last one I have is also going to be a fairly small trade. Actually, this is the smallest, but same thing. We have a dividend coming up. And normally as we approach a dividend, like people will buy up. So we should be able to get like a nice little pop on ExxonMobil. Above 117.35, I would be interested in longs, and I would close them at 118 and 30 cents. Yeah, I know this is a pretty short video, but that's about all that I see. I went through quite a few stocks. I have a very, what's the word? I'm very, like basically all of the stars need to align for me to like stamp my name on something and say, hey, I think price is going to go from here to here. Because I really want to just put out like trades that like really have a high win rate. And when I've done these in the past, it's roughly like an 80 to 90% win rate on the trades, based on the process that I go through to find the trades and all of the information that I look at. So anyway, yeah, quick little skinny belly here, just for roughly $1. Hopefully you guys caught some of the plays today. And hopefully if people did take Airbnb, I really hope it paid out. But if not, at the end of the day, we're just trading probabilities, and, we'll just keep banging them out. Here's my little spreadsheet if you guys want to see it. But, oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't cover this. Geez. Target will be a swing trade, and I'm looking to 1 to 2 weeks out on the short, and Verizon would be a 1 to 2 day swing. So basically I would buy contracts like a day out, and if it hits the price target in the same day, that's great. If not, swing it overnight. ExxonMobil is going to be a day trade, and for this one, I would actually buy like in the money contract since we're looking for a pretty small move. Good enough though. It should be good enough to make some money. I would just grab in the money. That way theta is not completely destroying you. Anyway, that's going to be it, guys. If you have any questions or whatever. Oh, somebody's asking me to check Tesla. Okay. I'll show you my process. there's not going to be anything on Tesla as far as full sends because I've already looked at it. Maybe, let's see, on the higher time frame here. I was actually like looking at Tesla. What was it? Yesterday when I went over the videos, based on this full send here and here and here. If you understand Elliott waves, actually, let me make this full screen. And let me zoom out a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I can't see a previous one, but the way that Elliott waves work is like you get a 1, the first wave, the second wave, third, fourth, and the fifth is normally higher than the third. And so for, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought here. The reason that the full send pops up on the fourth to fifth wave is, and now you guys are doing stock requests. The reason that the full send pops up on the fourth to fifth wave is the fourth to fifth wave is normally the cleanest, as far as less choppy and gives more of a direct move either up or down. And so that's why I like to trade that fourth to fifth wave. And again, normally goes a bit higher than the third wave. And so based on that, like, we're probably going to see 200 on Tesla based on this full send here. And I would be looking probably like a couple weeks out, possibly a month to hit 200. And then let me pull up some more information here really quick on Tesla. You guys are killing me on this, just so you know. Because, like, you're not asking me about stocks that I haven't already evaluated and they didn't meet my criteria. I mean, not saying that they're not tradable. They just didn't meet my criteria to share a setup. So the clouds are basically saying, hang on, actually I'll maximize this as well. Bro. Basically for me, this should be the daily, right? Oh, the weekly. Is it the weekly? Day. I need to change the colors, obviously. These are the same. Weekly and daily are the same color. That makes no sense. Actually, let me change this really quick. So, yeah, it should be pink. Just make this easier for me to see what I'm actually looking at. Hello, where is the stock? Oh. Bro. All right, let's do that. Okay, so the weekly mid cloud is at 188.96. So basically over 189. I would be interested in playing this up to about 200. Based on this, it's probably going to 208-ish. Let me look really quick. Yeah, I would comfortably play this up to 200. Trim at 203.80 from whatever it was. I said 190, I think 189. 189 to 203.80. And then ultimate take profit 208. But again, it doesn't meet my criteria for posting or for sharing a trade. But if I was forced to guess where it's going to go, 203 first price target, second price target 208, and I would close all of my longs at 208. Okay. Nvidia. Sorry, bear with me really quick. So here's a couple of examples for you. This is what I was looking for. You get the 1, the 2, 3. This is number 4. This is our full send down. And 5, you could see, was pretty significantly below 3. And then over here, we get a full send up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's just slightly above 3. So kind of hard to say like exactly how far above 3 it will go, but generally at least a little bit above. Okay. Let's see. So this right here is exactly why I haven't been like interested in Nvidia as far as calling out a trade. We are on 3, which basically means we're probably coming down somewhere into this green box, and that will be 4, and then from there we'll fly. But on the higher time frames, like this is 1 year, 1 day, based on this, we're going to like 968-ish. But this could take a long time to play out, and while this is playing out, it could come down, trigger, and go. So 895-ish. Is where I would start to be interested in longs. Let's look at the clouds. I mean, I think I'm kind of explaining it, Tony. The first thing I look for is for a signal on my Elliott waves, either upside or downside. Once I have a signal upside or downside, then I look at my clouds, which basically just shows support and resistance. And these are, I'm not like a big, what's it called? I'm not a big believer in like indicators or algorithms or anything like that, but these are a few of the, or a very few of the indicators that I actually trust, like really wholeheartedly. And so when I'm inside of clouds like I am right now and on Nvidia, I'm not interested in trades. I'm looking for open areas where price can move quickly. You know, like if we lost 138.62 or whatever this is, and came down, you know, like I would be interested in taking a short if we lost 138.60 down to, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be getting like a, 40-point move, but I would be interested in trading this open space here. In this, I would expect chop. If we break above 935 and then retest it, I would be interested in along there. But right here, it just will probably chop around, and I'm not looking for trades in areas that are going to chop around. But with that said, what did I say? I'm looking for somewhere around 895-ish is where I would start to be looking at longs. And then if all of that criteria is met, oops, then I come and I look. Well, this worked, huh? Then I come and I look at my volume profile and see if it lines up. And we were looking at like 195 right here, which I probably wouldn't be taking a trade right there. I would be more interested in a long at about 170. And if I go back, let's see. And that's kind of doable. This could trigger long in the 870 level. I don't know if I just said 170, but I meant 870, obviously. So the bottom of this high volume node, again, if it was meeting my criteria, I would be interested in a long right about here. And you know, according to the Elliott waves, we're going to like 168-ish, but I would not be trying to catch that big of a move. I would probably happily, close at the far side of this high volume node, or even just take it to the psych level of 900 even, and close there. But yeah, I would expect, and we can always revisit this later, but I would expect price to come down somewhere into this range and then go up slightly above 168. Okay. But yeah, I would really be looking for a pullback prior to a long on NVIDIA. Yeah, but so like I said, I have a very stringent process that I go through, because if all of the stars align, like I said, it's about an 80 to 90% win rate. And so those are trades that I like to share that, have like high probability outcomes. That way, hopefully people are making money. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. Hopefully it's helpful. Scott Dogg's calling it out. Dude, I did not call that trade out, bro. You could do it, but yeah, not me. Does not meet my criteria. But yeah, this is, I would expect it to do this, but like I said, all of the stars are not aligning, so doesn't quite meet my criteria. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I won't be doing a video tomorrow for sure. Tuesdays, I'm always insanely busy. Yeah, SC, I'll look at that. So definitely no video on this tomorrow. But we should be able to do one on Wednesday and revisit, all of the stuff that I've called out, see what worked, see what didn't, and then find potential plays for Thursday. Let's see. I've never heard of this. Oh, wow. Lamb Research. What do they do? I'm guessing it's like a biomedical company. Oh, chips. Okay. Yeah, so on the smaller time frames, we're gonna have a sell-off. I can look at this more in depth on the clouds, but right now on all of the smaller time frames, we're on wave 2 at the top, which means that wave 3 will be, lower. And then 4 will be somewhere above. And then from there, we'll sell off for wave 5. And wave 5 should go lower than wave 3. On the larger time frames, we have 2s on the bottom, which basically just means we're going to get a 3, sell off some, get our 4, and pump. So smaller time frame right now, or more, in the coming weeks, we'll probably see a little sell off, and then after that, we'll probably get like a pump. Or it could be coming days. It's going to have a little sell off, and then it should rip up pretty good. Let's take a look at the clouds. Yeah, it's pretty clear. This is nice. So this is something that you have to monitor more closely, but basically my 4-hour cloud, the way the clouds work, 4-hour clouds can move every 4 hours. My daily clouds can move once a day. Weekly clouds can move once a week. Monthly clouds can move once a month. Quarterly clouds can move once a quarter. So I don't really know where the 4-hour cloud will be, but I'm probably more interested in this daily mid here. When we come down and retest this, whatever it is, 1670, we'll just call it, 1616, 91670, if I could speak English. I would actually look for it to bounce from there and possibly go to about 960. But this will be, this move will take probably at least a week, if not more. But first we need to have a pullback, break above this daily mid, or bounce off the daily mid and then go long. If you can SE, like on future videos, if you ask me about this, I'll look it up and we'll see where the clouds are sitting. But you could get a pretty good move here. Based on clouds 960, let's look at our just regular candles here. Yeah, this is actually pretty sweet. If you look, trying to zoom in for you guys a little bit, but here, where is it? Right about that 16 level is like support resistance. So resistance here, turned support, turned into support, turned to resistance, support, broke through, resistance, support, broke through, and now we broke back through to the upside. So that's right about where that weekly mid is. I would look for a bounce off of there. And if this happens, I would be interested until about, we'll call it 929. Or, yeah, 929. Here. And hopefully you guys are paying attention. Like, this is not accidental. This is the far side of the shelf, and you can see this has been resistance in the past. It's also acted as support. It's acted as resistance here. So this is a good place to close. But with that said, if we clear 31, sorry, I need to get more information back on the screen here. If we cleared 31, this starts to get interesting again, or whatever this is, 32. Let me see. Right now I'm looking at candles and not really at the volume profile. Yeah, once we clear this, we probably go to 60 minimum. Potential for this to be the level that we reject from. Ultimate target is right around here. Hopefully this makes sense. You know, most likely, you know, stocks don't move straight up. So if we came here, bounce, we'll probably, you know, chop a little bit, whatever, come to here, reject back down, break through, reject back down, break through, and go to there ultimately. So this is what I'd be looking for on this one. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully it helps to see how I look. And this also applies to, you know, stop losses and whatever. If I was going long here and I'm looking for a place to put a stop loss, I start looking at my candlesticks and looking at my wicks and finding support and resistance. And then if you notice where my mouse pointer went, and this is not like, I was literally only looking at my candlesticks, right around here is where I would want to have my stop loss as a minimum. And it also happens to be right at the far side of a high volume node, which for me, that says I need to have my stop loss a little bit lower because I don't want my stop loss right where they might bounce it, you know? But if I'm looking at this, it looks like we're getting support slash resistance right around here. My stop loss needs to be a little bit lower than that. And this is important. Like when you trade, you don't want to trade based on percentage gained or percentage lost. You don't want to trade based on your profits made or profits lost. You don't want to trail up your stop loss. Because when you do that, you're never going to make it to your profit target. Way better to enter your trades with, you know, like an exact plan in mind. And you always have to look for that one risk to reward. So if my stop loss is here, and again, I'm going based off of the, you know, off of the charts. Actually, I'll just make this a different color so it's not confusing. I see support right about there, right? And because of that, I want my stop loss slightly below it. And then to take this trade, I need to be able to make at least double what I'm risking. If I'm playing to 960, then this is a basically 4.6 risk to reward. If I'm going to my initial take profit, then I can't take this trade because I'm only making 1.37 based on my one risk. Or I could take the trade, but I would have to be willing to move my stop loss, you know, at least to here, which I wouldn't want to do. If I'm going to here, I would still take this. 1.93 is close enough to 1 to 2 for me, and I would take this trade. But I would not take it to this initial take profit of 929. Again, just based on what I see on the charts. And my stop loss might be a little bit too big. But the point isn't where my stop loss is or whatever. The point is really about like how you want to trade. And the reason that you don't want to be moving your stop loss is, you know, like if you're willing to move your stop loss up, when you're in profit, then in order to do that, you have to be willing to move your stop loss higher when you're not in profit, which nobody's going to be willing to do, right? Most people will start moving their stop loss away. And really, like, you want to find key levels on the chart. And once you've found those key levels, you want to say, like, hey, if market makers are going to try to, stop out longs, then they're probably going to come, from our entry possibly to here and try to take people out. So I want my stop loss to be slightly below this high volume node, slightly below this support level. That way, if they come down and a little bit past that, I'm still in the game. And then when that happens, hopefully I get that bounce that I was looking for and the trade works out. And then your take profit, again, same thing. It needs to be based on key levels on the chart. And that's how you trade. Before you enter the trade, you draw your risk to reward. And once you enter the trade, or before you enter the trade, you accept your risk. You accept, hey, I might lose this much money, but if it works out in my favor, I'm going to double that. And you keep doing this and you're consistent with it. Even if you're 50% correct, you're profitable. If my trades work out like they normally do, you should be right around 80% correct on my trades. You're going to make good money. You just have to do it consistently. If you have trouble with accepting your risk once you enter a trade, one thing that I would recommend is journal every single trade that you take. And on your journal, you can like Google, Excel trading or options journal. If you trade options, you could find one for stocks. You can find one for futures. You just have to be very specific in your search. And you can generally buy them, pretty inexpensively, like 25, 30, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. And they'll provide you a lot of information. Every single trade that you take, you want to journal and put down, your entry, your stop loss, your take profit, if the trade worked in your favor. And then you want to actually really be honest with yourself about the trade. Like, was my entry good? Did I enter where I planned on entering? Did I make any mistakes in the trade? Did I enter too early? Did I enter late? Did I chase the play? And you want to journal all of these things. You also want to journal what you did correctly. And you also want to journal anything that you think you could have done better. And then the purpose of that is when you really reflect on it, you look back and you say, hey, like, I entered the trade early because I was afraid it wasn't going to come to my initial entry or whatever. And then you can focus on not making that same mistake in the future. But then the things that you did correctly, you want to make sure you keep doing those things. So you want to reflect on those as well. And the things that you think you could change to have better outcomes, you also want to focus on those things so that you can bring those into your trades to hopefully have better outcomes in the future. And you do that for every single trade that you take. And if you're having trouble either letting your stop loss be hit or your take profit be hit, then you create a second journal. And on your first journal, you enter your actual trade, where you entered, where you exited, win, loss, whatever. On your second journal what would have happened if you let the play actually play out and either hit your stop loss or your take profit. And then, after whatever it is, a couple weeks, a month, 2 months, you can look at both journals and see which one is more profitable. And then hopefully, I'm willing to bet, like, the journal where you trust your levels and just let your stop loss get hit or your take profit get hit only and don't trail your stop, you'll be more profitable than the one where you trail your stop. And so hopefully over time you'll be like, shoot, like, I'm just shooting myself in the foot by trailing my stop loss. Yeah, it sucks to have a trade go from green to red, but in the long run, I'm making way more money by trusting my levels and letting the plays play out. And so hopefully you guys can implement that, and hopefully, it helps you out. But that's how I would go about doing it. That'll be it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. You guys all have a good evening. And like I said, I won't be doing a video tomorrow, but we will do one on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. And like I said, the more engagement these get, the more we'll do it, and keep on doing it, you know. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Much love. Take care. Have a good evening. Peace out.